Hey, this is Bruce Brown, and this is the third part of the VA claim series that I've been doing. And this is really just to help my fellow vets out there, and I want you to be in a place where you can confidently file this VA claim and don't hold back. So this one I'm going to be talking about what my results were. So in the first one we talked about finding a VSO. My recommendation is go to via your local VSO. And then the second one I talked about how it was to go to the actual medical, the VA approved medical places that I had to go to. Just gave you a brief breakdown of what happened. This third one is going to be about the results that I had and what forms you should fill out. So that my purpose here is to help you to fully and confidently go through this process and don't hold back like I did. If I could do it all over again, I would do it as quickly as possible, and I would get my medical records with me. I'd have my civilian medical records that can substantiate the problems that I'm having, and I would also bring my records from, if I could get hold of them, the medical records from inside the military. That being said, let's go ahead and do this. So here is what I got from the Veteran Affairs Office. So I got a 40% disability, and I gotta say it was an unexpected result. It was very unexpected. With 40%, you get approximately, I've got 40% with 2 kids and a spouse. That comes up to about $730 a month, give or take. And what did I expect from this? I expected something totally different, and I'll explain what I mean by that by reading some of my actual results. So one of the things I filed for is PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Alright, so I'm just gonna, and they gave me a 30%, effective date the 22nd of February. And I'll just read here one of the bullets here. It says, we have assigned a 30% evaluation for your post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, based on occupational and social impairment due to mild or transient symptoms which decrease work efficiency, ability to perform occupational tasks only during periods of significant stress, distressed mood disturbance, and motivation, and mood, anxiety, chronic sleep impairment. Okay, so all of those things are true, and the hardest thing about this one, to be perfectly honest with you, is admitting that I had a problem. I really didn't want to talk to a psychologist about it, but I do have it on record. After I came back from Afghanistan, I actually had to go to several psychiatrists. This is not easy for me to say this stuff, but I had to go to a psychiatrist to deal with certain issues, emotional and mental issues that I was having. And it's really hard to admit that I have a problem, but that's the first step of healing, right? Admitting that you had a problem. So this one was really difficult for me, and it really wasn't easy for me to go through that whole process. Is 30% fair? Yeah, I'd say that his evaluation here was pretty accurate. I really can't argue with that. So the second one I got was tinnitus. And tinnitus, if you didn't know, it's just a ringing of the ears when you can hear just like this constant like ringing or humming sound that's in the background of when everything's totally silent, or even just ambient noise, or just even when somebody's talking, you can hear this constant ringing. It probably came from having to shoot weapons for a really long time, and then being close to really loud explosions that can set it off. And so do have that, and that was a 10%. And so if you have that, you definitely want to mark that down. Like I said, it's called tinnitus. The other one's bilateral hearing loss, which I got a 0%. Apparently my hearing's pretty good still. Back pain. So the ones that I was not expecting, caught me off guard, and I disagree with, is the back pain, severe migraines, and right shoulder pain, and neck pain. And the reason I disagree with it is because I actually have service-connected proof for this one. and I actually do still go to a doctor. So now I have to go through the process of going to my civilian doctor and getting the records from them and then giving those to the VA to appeal. So all is not lost. You know, not that I'm unhappy with 40%, but they really didn't cover the main problems. So let me just read you one bullet from the back pain. It says, there is a record of treatment in service for back pain, but the evidence does not show a chronic disability during service nor after active duty. Therefore, service connection is denied. Bam, there you go. Not even 0%. And so that's pretty much the same thing they said with the shoulder pain and the severe headaches, migraines. It's got to be an impairment, which I believe it is an impairment, and that's what I have to go to my doctor, my civilian doctor, and get those records and then prove to them in an appeal that, hey, these things are still ongoing. I do have a service connection. And also, actually, here's another thing is I know for a fact I've gone to the doctor, I went to the doctor multiple times when I was in active duty to tell them about these issues I was having, because it was very physical. The career field I was in was very, very physical. And then even when I cross-trained into something that was going to be like a desk job, computers, I ended up going to a war zone. So anyway, so I can't appeal for it. So, you know, all hope is not lost on that. The PTSD thing was the hardest thing, and actually I think that was a fair assessment. And I'm not totally negative about the whole process. It's just it wasn't what I expected, and there's an appeal process to get me through it. But here's another thing I want to show you. I want to show you how easy these forms are. If you go to the VSO office, they actually fill the forms out for you. All you're doing is filling out the form enough so that they can take it, what you've already put on your forms, and transcribe that into a digital form. But here, let me go ahead and show you this. You want to find this form, you just Google it, and well, first off, let me read you the forms that you're going to need. You're going to need the VA Form 21686C, Declaration of Status of Dependence, a VA Form 210781, Statement in Support of Claim for PTSD, VA Form 21526EZ, Application of Disability Compensation. Those are the three main forms that you're going to need to fill out and take to the VSO's office. And when you go to your VSO office, well, at least when I went to mine, what they did was they broke down everything that they wanted me to fill out. And I'll show you this here. And everything that they wanted me to have, they said, just to read this quickly, a certified copy of your DD-214. And if you look at my last video, I'll show you how to get that, the certified copy of it. Or you can actually, if you already have a copy, you can get it certified, notarized. A marriage certificate, a divorce decree, if you have that. You're going to need, it's said to have your social security number, but you actually provide that on the documents we're about to fill out. Civilian medical records, I really wish I would have brought that, knowing what I know now. You're going to have to put on the forms your direct deposit and routing number information. They gave me a contact information, and these are just all the forms that they gave me, the ones we're about to go through right now. And you can actually hand print these. It's probably more advisable to just go ahead and write in, but just do it very clearly, because remember, the VSO has to transcribe what you've written down onto the forms. All you're doing is providing them all the information that they have to put in there. So let's go ahead and start. This is the PTSD form. And let's just go ahead and put first name, Bruce B. Brown. And it's a fake name for all of you out there who are concerned about it. But VA file form. Okay, so initially, if you don't know it, just keep on moving. So the date that the incident occurred. And now here's where it gets very in the weeds. So you want to know, for the PTSD form, you have to specify exactly what day that the incident, whatever incident sparked the PTSD, uh, whatever date that was. So I'm just gonna put a date here. Let me say, see, it was like 1999, let's say, and then you put the location that it occurred. Let's say it was in